Hello, and welcome to WTH 3 Roses Podcast. We are your hosts, Deb and the twins. Let's talk news, politics, culture, entertainment, and WTH moments. Yep, we've got a lot to talk about. Let's get started.
Welcome to 3Roses Podcast with Deb and the twins. People have asked, where have you been? So we are back. 3Roses Podcast. We are here to discuss what's been going on in this world today. Donald Trump is going back to the White House. We had so much hope for our VP Kamala Harris that she would be the next president of the United States, but that didn't happen. And because of that, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of unknowns. People are upset. We're already hearing about what's going to happen with this next administration. So we're here just to talk through several different points today. Let's get started. Deborah, what are your views? And Deborah is our resident political expert. So what are your views, Deborah?
I'm the resident political expert.
Yes.
I think that for me, I have not heard in a long time the most vile, horrible, racist, sexist, violent, misogynistic, give me some other words, coming out of a white male politician in a long time. What people heard versus what they did when they got in those polls, no one can explain. I can. I feel like it is, as I've said multiple times, is wrought in white supremacy and racism. And that does not exclude people that look like us. Because if you go back through our history, you know that supporters and allies were strong in that period of time, just like they are now. So the bottom line for me is what I ask, since people are literally gloating, Black men that we have seen online and have spoken to, feel the need to gloat that Trump won the election. Here's my problem. This is not a football game. Outcomes for an election literally affect people's lives. I'm not sure where people have been, but I do know that for sure, if I'm wrong and she had won, at the bare minimum, it would have been the same of what we've always gotten out of the Democratic Party. If they are wrong, then what? People that supported Trump end up being wrong, and he actually does all the things that he said that he would do, including the policies of getting rid of Social Security or cutting Social Security. Go down the list. The man was a pitfall of a lot of things that we should be very worried about. That's my take on it. I think that we need to be positive in some form or fashion because we've gone through quite a bit, just us three, and we know how to survive. And with all the things that go on with this country, who we are as Black females and women, or Black women, Black females. Some people don't like those female to say female anymore. We know how to be survivors.
Right.
We know how to be survivors and be successful at being survivors. Go ahead.
Right. And I think we were all blindsided. I think that the Democratic Party was blindsided. I think that they felt like they had the allies there, that people were voting. But in reality, people voted against their own self-interest. They voted against women's rights. They voted against Social Security. They voted against the school systems. They voted against so many things. And in reality, they're thinking, he's just joking. He's not going to do all those things. So now we're in a position where we're waiting to see. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. But based off the things I've seen out on social media, it has already started. He has empowered people to be racist. He has empowered people to be bullies. He has empowered people to attack people that don't look like them, people of color. And I think that it's just now starting. It's just like starting. And if you go back to a previous podcast, now we're at the state where we're waking up every morning, gonna see what is happening today. What are these executive orders that are gonna happen January 7th or 6th? What are those gonna be? What's gonna happen?
Right. And people did not think through their vote. You're talking about where 65% of white non-college educated people voted for Trump. With the policies that he's going to put in place, they're going to be the ones who's going to be suffering. We're talking about Social Security. We're talking about, education. We're talking about whatever kind of government support. He's already talking about downsizing the government. And so, you voted for someone for, I don't know, for, abortion rights, but you didn't think this clearly. It is going to affect you. It's going to affect lots of people. I've had conversations with people who said that they're already hearing reports of turbocharging denationalization of citizens. So that means that people who have come to this country who are now citizens, they're going to turbocharge the denationalization and deport them. What does that mean? Right. So people are afraid right now.
The issue is that the Democratic Party should have known that this was a big risk. In fact, I know they knew it was a big risk in order to bring in Kamala Harris in the middle of this campaign and expect her to be able to do miracles. And we're familiar with that as well.
In 107 days.
11th hour. Mm-hmm. For her to perform miracles at the 11th hour. Because of that superhero syndrome that people feel like if Black women are ahead of doing something, we got to perform, we have to deliver in ways that no one else has ever delivered. And my problem being is that it's not like we did not know that there was something suspicious with how white women, white men, general population would vote for a woman with Hillary. And I'm sorry, I still say that they made big moves to manipulate and play this game to bring her in, knowing full well that if they failed, this would devastate quite a few people. Mm-hmm. It was done without input from a lot of people that I feel like that will suffer, if you want to use that word, should have been consulted on as well, but it wasn't. So that game was played and it didn't work. So now we have what we have now. Because we are fully aware misogyny is a thing here in this country. And we are fully aware that racism, white supremacy, and also violence is something that we do not speak about. We don't talk about. And we need to do some soul searching. We really do. Because what I saw, and I'm not sure what everybody else saw, but I saw some serious low down rotten racism, straight and with no chaser, with the things that were being said, the complete and utter disrespect. Mm-hmm. like I said, the vile things that came out this man's mouth that he said about this female, this woman, this lady, this vice president, this black female vice president,
Educated, yeah.
educated, professional, experienced, and qualified. And what you got was men implying that not she was a whore, but that she was a hoe. And I
Mm-hmm.
got a problem with that. And I have a problem that we really need to sit down and we need two conversations. One with the general population to find out what's wrong with them. Because I don't think we have allies right now.
Right. And the country was so okay. And they were okay before, when he spewed all this foolishness, when he talked down to people, and they're okay now with it. And I don't get people. I don't get what they're thinking. And if you have this many people voting for this man who stands for utter hatred, biasness, who are we working with? Who are we living with? Who are we shopping with?
Right.
That's very scary.
They are the people that are sitting in our face, saying that they are friends, our co-workers, our teammates. These are these people. And my problem is that this man said those things about this woman, about this population, about this nationality. And the people voted for him. They voted for him. So how can you disrespect the mother of your house and my children go and vote for them or support these people? Who does that? They said, and again, and I keep saying, you said don't give him a pass, but I've heard them say it over and over again. Oh, he doesn't mean what he's saying. He's just joking. So a lot of people feel like, and I'm hoping that's the reason why they voted for this man, is because they feel like it was just a joke. It's just the ramp up the rally and to keep people engaged in the rallies and stuff that he was having. He didn't mean any of this, and that's how they actually thought. That's how they thought.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, what I meant was the Republican Party. Yeah, I will agree with you on that.
Right.
But I do not agree that the Democratic Party was blindsided. I do not agree with that.
I mean,
what the stakes were.
No, I mean, they were blindsided when they were going through the election phase. Like I feel like they were blindsided because they felt like they had it in their hands. That's what I'm saying. They underestimated the rural areas. So they said, hey, we got this in the bag. And they didn't. And they didn't reach out. I don't think that they reached out to the people that needed to.
You're talking about like, I think she's saying with all the millions of dollars that were raised, all the town hall meetings, all the meetings of the black men meeting, the D9 meeting, the black women meeting, going visiting all the key states. They thought they had it in the bag.
Right. They felt like they had it in the bag.
I don't know.
You disagree with me?
No, I don't. I think this election was in the small amount of time that they got up to speed and what they did. These people traveled, and we go down. I have to get the list of all the places they did go. These people did more than I've ever. They did exactly what people have. I can tell you this for sure. I will give them this. They did exactly what people said the Democratic Party needed to do.
And what Hillary didn't do.
Worried the hell out of us. They went to all different places that were small communities, and they sent, if they personally weren't there, they sent their surrogates. These people made some serious inroads into places to people that had never been spoken to in an actual election. Okay, so and we won't even talk about the numerous texts and messages and phone calls and outreach and the knocking on the doors to get out the vote or to take a sign or do those things. I do know that they were engaged on the ground.
Mhm.
I will give them that much. So
Mhm.
I do feel like it is mainly nothing more than people will not accept the fact that white supremacy and misogyny outweighs outweighs everything.
Mhm.
So there's no explanation behind hate. It's all about hate, whatever name you want to give it.
Mhm.
That's the reason why we're sitting here in this situation right now, is because of hate and the importance of making sure that power structure stays the same, and that more importantly, that their people, whoever decides that they think that they are their people, because I think a lot of people are going to find out you're not their people.
Right.
Okay. And to make sure that their people are the ones that sustain the power structure of being the higher ups in this, whatever structure you want to say it is, democracy. And I honestly believe that I, I, I blame the Democratic Party for that heavy move. I do. And someone asked me this morning, well, do you think Biden would have won if they stayed with him? And my answer is, why not? We've listened to this man 24/7 about Trump over and over all day long. He didn't provide any consistency in a policy. He just got in there and riffed anytime he opened up his mouth. He says some of the most ridiculous things, and some things that I just really, a lot of people, including myself, could not even understand what he was trying to say.
So what was the difference? Mhm.
And people voted for him anyway.
Right. Mhm.
So, yeah, if the Democratic Party had gotten behind in the cult-like process like the Republican Party did, and went on ahead and like I said, ride or died with Biden,
By any means necessary.
and went in there and voted because it was more important to win than it was for you to have your opinions about how you want to win. This is what happened with Hillary. You see?
Mhm.
And my issue is that we vote in order to stop, to help, to make sure that it doesn't get as bad as it will get. And these people feel like they have the moral authority to decide that they want to make a decision on how they win versus knowing that it will affect a lot of people. And more importantly, it won't affect you from the beginning, but you are going to be affected too.
They are. They are.
And the other one I will say, and then I'll end at this, is that more people are coming out and talking and saying that like Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Latinos, run down the list of people who were high level voters for Trump.
Mhm.
A lot of people do not see themselves in this storyline that this man is talking about.
Right.
Believe
That's
that
true.
it's not them. He's not talking about them.
Mhm.
Including people that look like us. They honestly believe he's not talking about any of
Mhm.
those. Well, hate doesn't have eyes, and it will spread.
Mhm.
Trust me. And
And,
and then they're gonna be very surprised.
mhm. They will be surprised. It has begun. So.
It is what it is.
Mhm.
And I don't know how to be positive because I know my girls are losing it.
Mhm.
Um, and we're looking for something positive to come up out of this. And I'm not sure. We're not, listen, there's no way for us to know what to expect because we've never had to expect anything like this.
Mhm.
I can tell you, Mr. Man with his 2025 project, we already have a clue on what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And none of that looks good.
None
None
of it.
None of it.
And
But I do think that we need to have a conversation with the general population. We need to have a conversation with our Black men, and we need to have a conversation with our progressive liberal white women.
white women.
Mhm.
These are things that we need to talk about. We need to sit down and talk about what is going on, period. And you can't fix it if you don't name it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because it shouldn't be that much doggone hate going on right now. We're saying, you drive by folks living in multi-million-dollar homes, got 60, $70,000 trucks in they car in they I'm just saying, what you angry for? What you
I
mad?
don't know why people are angry.
What you
I
mad?
don't know.
I also think I think people are taking it as a joke. If you look at social media, they're taking it as a joke. You get all these memes. I guess we'll be working in the cotton field. People are sending people text messages. Saying you've been selected to go to the cotton field. I mean, all these jokes and memes are across social media, and versus people are actually taking this serious, whether or not people took the election seriously. Even until days before the election, people were still saying, but he gave us all that money. And I'm saying, what money did Trump give? They're only looking at what can they do to benefit based on what he said. And we're going to even go back to the commentators. The commentators were so eager to highlight all the negatives of Kamala Harris, but then I'm talking about on this side, but don't drill down point after point of where Trump was wrong. Now, if you go to Fox, they're all supportive for Trump. No matter what he said, is all good. But when you come back on the other stations, you have all these political analysts who are there who analyzing Kamala and saying all this and saying all that, versus saying, hey, we're going to do just like they did.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Biden was there, whoever's running for president, we're going to do the same thing that they're doing for Trump over here. We're going to support whatever she says is right. But how does someone get away with being full of hatred, a nasty mouth, and people are, ecstatic about it. People are applauding it.
And a felon.
I don't get what's wrong with society, and that's what's scary. What's wrong with people? That's the scary part.
We've been bamboozled and manipulated.
Yeah.
Because the other conversation we need to have, and I've had it inside the house, is that we need to stop watching these quote corporate media people, because we really don't have media anymore. That's supposed to be our third leg. And what we do have is a bunch of people that are on TV 24/7 trying to get those eyes and those looks and those clicks to make their money. And that's all they are not media people.
No, and the talking points.
They talking points, and yeah, it's just
right. And what I noticed on Tuesday is that when the blue wall didn't hit, the tone changed from this radio station, from this TV station over here. The tone changed. It was all about, well, like Sheila said, well, she should have did this, she should have did that, and I was like, oh, now they're trying to keep their jobs now, because before the blue wall, before we were still estimating, thinking that the blue wall was going to hit, they were all for Kamala. She can do this, she can do this. But then when the numbers started coming in, the tone changed. The energy level changed. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bed. Because people that you think are in your corner are not. And it's not just the election. It's your peers. It's your neighbors. It's your teammates. So you better watch yourself.
But
honestly, my opinion is that being afraid is not going to help this situation. being afraid to speak out and things like that is going to make this worse. And I'm not really sure what the real answer should be. But I know that at this moment in time, what we have is a situation where um, we're responsible for these next generations.
Mhm.
And if we don't get this right, we have done them a disservice. And I feel like for the fact that all the past generations were never perfect, but I feel like they did the best in order to make us who we are right now. I think they did. They tried their best, and they did it with little amount of technology, resources, and access to what we have right now. And I just feel like I'm not really sure where our fighters are. I guess we don't have any because we definitely. I was about to cuss. Uh, we definitely have an issue where it relates to Black leadership. Um,
Mhm.
there is a silence that is deafening. Throughout this entire stuff, there was a lot of people doing a bunch of screaming and hollering about Trump is terrible. And I think maybe we also need to bring in some experts to address the mentality or the mental health or what it is that is being done by people who are on the TV. We watch them all day long and they just keep saying the same words over and over and over and saying the same man's name over and over and over. And even with people aren't even listening directly to what is being said on the TV is on and they're still hearing that same name and that same stuff over and over. I think it's something that is in the psyche that also goes towards allowing people to say Trump, 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 Trump. And everybody was like, oh, I vote for Trump. I honestly do believe so. I don't have anybody that I can speak to give me some stats on that, but I think
Mhm.
we have been being manipulated on several
Mhm.
different levels that will explain, or that could explain the outcome of what happened in this election. But the mass majority of it is hate and power. Hate and power.